Calabria, south of Italy. In this agricultural land located in proximity of one of the most important port basins of the Mediterranean Sea, the economic crisis is claiming the first victims. The lack of jobs, infrastructures and cooperation in the agricultural sector is leaving the flatland of Rosarno with no hopes.
If you look at the agriculture in the flatlands of Rosarno, we can clearly say that there is no future. The means of transport are insufficient. If I had to carry my products to Milan, it would be more convenient to transport them from Morocco than from here. It would also take less time. Since there is a lack of trade, it's not suitable for the local producers to process the land regularly. This also means that it's not convenient to hire labour forces and pay the regular contribution.
Since 1994, seasonal African migrants have reached Rosarno to find a job as orange pickers. With the ongoing crisis in the sector, the black market labor and the exploitation have become the tragic rule for them.
I think the job is one of the most important things in our life. It gives a man dignity. Here in Rosarno, there is no dignity and no rights for the migrants. They don't have any of the fundamental human rights and workplace rights, nor the rights to decent accommodation.
The migrants' revolt in Rosarno 2010 showed the exploitation and the inhuman condition in which they were forced to live. Nothing seemed to have changed in 3 years, and the risk of further revolts is still high.
Nothing really changed after the revolt. It's the same thing. There is no change. We do not have any rights. We are still exploited.
They have to work from 4 or 5 in the morning till 6 at night for a ridiculous salary. They're exploited. Either they don't have a contract at all, or they have a fake contract that does not exist.
The only place where the migrants are allowed to live is a refugee camp that has been created after the humanitarian emergency in February early this year. More than 100 people are still living here in extremely poor conditions.
It's really tough, not easy for us at all. And the one thing that is our desperation at this moment is that they are complaining that they are going to scatter this place. I don't know. So whether it will be possible or not, but it's really confusing us, definitely. Before we have electricity here, they come and take it off, so I don't know. See, we complain about it, but still no way.
Ali's hope is to survive and to find a job in the next October, when the orange picking season will start again. But the lack of jobs and shelters predict a future darker than ever. This is what has been left of one of the home affair emergency camp built last year in Rosarno to cope with the increasing flow of migrants. With the new flow expected from the next October, November, another solution should be found to avoid the cyclic humanitarian emergency in this area.
We know that from October and November, a lot of migrants will arrive here. So, it should be logic to plan the solutions in order to tackle the problems in advance. We saw last year that even if there's a peak of arrivals in October, November and January, there's a need of assistance even now in July. We opened a first aid station just a week ago, and several people needed our assistance.
The warning on how to deal with the next migrants' flow is clear, but the problems are still far from being sorted out.
We do not have the practical instruments to find adequate and decent accommodations for all the migrants. In a period of economical crisis like this one, the regional authority of Calabria cut the appropriation of financial funds, so we don't actually know how to face the new season of migrant arrivals.
What should be done? It's consider this like something which is part of the territory. So organize also shelter for these people and trying to offer, dignified conditions. I really hope that at this point, the government as well as the local government all together can come out with, new solutions for this territory. Otherwise, the risk is that something like it happens in 2010 can happen again, and this would be really, really bad.
Since the revolt in 2010, the migrant situation has been considered as an emergent issue. The big concern, both for the migrants and the local community, is that the problems are unlikely to be solved, since the scenes now are familiar to Rosarno.